All right. Thank you for joining me. Um, I'm Brian from Your Career Day. I appreciate you spending time with me to inform people about your career. Can you give us your name
My name is Kevin Bordine.
and where's your hometown?
It is Tecumseh, Michigan.
All right. What is your career title?
My career title is Journeyman Steamfitter.
Okay. And what does being a journeyman steam fitter entail?
We take care of any steam and condensate, any hot water heating supply and return, any pumps, any chill water, any compressed air, or any vacuum systems and piping in the buildings that are on the campus of U of M, North Campus, to be
Okay.
specific.
All right, cool. Now, what type of education is required to be a journeyman steam fitter?
To get into it, nothing. They put you through an apprenticeship school for 5 years. And that entailed going one night or two nights a week after work for training related directly to the job. And then when I went through my apprenticeship, they also had you get your associate's degree.
Okay.
So that's how I got my associate's degree through that.
All right, perfect. Now, what type of person is best suited to be a journeyman steam fitter?
From my perspective, I think it's the person that likes to hear about a problem and then dig through and find what the problem is, how to solve it, and then solve it. So to have the mindset of, I have a problem, I'm going to work through that problem to figure out how to solve it. So other steam fitters that I know are better at construction type stuff, but that's always been my strong suit, has been this room's too hot. Why is this room too hot? And go through the steps and then get it fixed.
Okay. All right. Now, what was your road to your current position? How did you get to where you are today?
Well, that goes back a few years. I hired in at the university in 1986 as a custodian on afternoons, where we met.
Right.
And through that, they had a training program to get into the maintenance department of a couple, 3 years. So I did that, took some classes relating to that, got into maintenance. And then eventually I applied for a number of apprenticeships, but this one specifically, and got this position, and here I am. I got the position in 2005 and turned out in 2010. So it's been a while.
Yeah.
I've been doing
it. That's good.
Yep.
So how did you know this was the right career for you?
I knew some of the other steam fitters on campus through being a maintenance mechanic, and I knew what they did, and I knew their personalities, and I knew, a little bit more than average of what the job entailed, what was expected, that kind of thing. And in fact, a couple of them encouraged me to take that step and try and get one. And so, again, it plays into, I kind of use that diagnosing mentality in maintenance. And so that just told me that this was the right step to make, because it lended itself well to that type of personality of wanting to get to the bottom of something and fixing it.
Okay. So have you always been a person that likes to work with your hands, or were you mechanically inclined, or,
I would say no when I started, especially as a custodian. I didn't feel like I was all that mechanically inclined, but once I get into maintenance, the training to get into maintenance, and once I got into maintenance, then it started to kick in. And I always used like drills and stuff around the house, saws and stuff like that, but that's not the same thing as pipe wrenches and channel locks and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it's a little bit different. So yeah, I would say not to begin with, but it didn't take long, especially because I had good trainers, journeymen and stuff like that. Along the way, it got me into it where I feel comfortable now doing it.
So this wasn't something you were thinking about in high school, or, it was something you got into later on?
It was later on. To be honest with you, in high school, I wanted to be a working musician, but then reality sets in and you realize, you can explore that, but it doesn't pay the bills right off the bat. And I had a family. And my wife actually had started working at the university and got me an application, and that's what got me into the university. And then that's when the path took off from there. So no, I would say that it wasn't anything that like I grew up dreaming of wanting to be that.
Yeah.
But you know well as I do how the university just fits you once you get there. You know what I mean? And there's so many benefits to being there. And then to work through the steps that I did, you know, it wasn't ever a goal, but it also wasn't ever, oh, I don't ever want to do anything like that.
Right. Right.
So thankfully I kept my options open, and here I am today.
So what advice would you give to someone that might want to follow in your footsteps?
I would say to find someone that does this work. If you can find them, even a plumber would be similar, but anyone in a trade similar to that, and just ask them questions, ask them what their path looked like, because they're not all going to be like mine. And yeah, just explore it. Look up YouTube videos. We live in an age where information is just so wide open to find if you want to look for it. And don't be afraid of it. Okay. I know a lot of people are afraid of steam and stuff like that. And I kind of use the analogy of electricity or anything like that. You have to have a healthy respect of it. But if you're trained right and you know the steps that you're supposed to take, everything will turn out fine. Yeah. And so don't let the name steam fitter, and there's not very many positions called steam fitter anymore. They're usually just pipe fitter. This is pretty much specific to the university now, because that's kind of always what they've called the position I'm in. But that's what I would say, is just find somebody that's similar, and ask them questions. Ask them, and they trust me, they won't be afraid to, you know, they won't say, oh, I'm not going to tell you nothing. No. Yeah.
Great. Well, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate your time. Thank you for being with us, and wish you well in the future.
Thanks. I appreciate you and what you're trying to do here, and I wish you the best of luck in it.
Thank you.